Good afternoon, good afternoon, believers. Hope that you're blessed. I pray that you're divinely favored. Um, Listen, I've got a interesting experience I wanted to tell you all about that occurred last night. Um, I decided I wanted to get out of the house, and if you all know me, you know that I love music and I love karaoke. And so I went to hang out with a friend of mine who does karaoke for a living. And naturally, because of the venues that she uses, I was in a bar. Now, don't be alarmed. I was drinking water and eating tacos and just singing music. But on the way to the venue, um, I had played one of my gospel rap songs that I had recorded for my friend who ended up liking it. So much so that in the midst of her show, she asked if she could play it. Um, Now, granted, there weren't a great deal of people in the bar at the time. Um, However, the significance to the situation was this: there was a young man in particular who made the comment because my friend said, even in the midst of her show, you got to have a little Jesus. And he said, well, I like music, but I don't need Jesus. And it, of course, it kind of pierced my heart that he would say that, and my friend as well. So she played the song, and of course, everybody listened. I got a little feedback from the song and things of that nature. Um, that was great. But this is the thought that occurred to me, and this is what I would like to present to you all. That young man who felt as though he didn't need Jesus seemed to be drawn to me otherwise. He thought I had a great voice, I thought I had soul, and all of these other things. Keep in mind that my friend said that I was a minister, announced it, so he knew that I was a man of God. But he seemed drawn to me, even though he said he didn't need Jesus. He didn't make any particular um, mention of the song. However, you never know. You never know what kind of impact the song or the experience may possibly have on him later. You never know that perhaps by a child of God being in his presence and the name Jesus being uttered in his presence, how that might have drawn him out for Jesus to single him out and say, hey, I need to get your attention, so that one day he might ask, what must I do to be saved? People, we have a tendency as believers, well, a lot of people in the church, Christian folk, have a tendency to take this pious attitude about things where they don't want to be around certain people because, oh, they're sinners and we're not supposed to be around sinners and we're not supposed to be around these people. And they only allow certain people in that church who are dressed a certain way or look a certain way or act a certain way or smell a certain way or whatever the case may be. And they're real picky and choosy about who they're around. They're real picky and choosy around about the places that they go and the things that they do. But you never know what might be your opportunity to minister to somebody who fits outside of your circle. You never know when might be your chance to influence somebody to be saved. Remember, people, that the work of the ministry is to spread the gospel so that all who might hear about it would have the opportunity to believe for themselves. As what must I do to be saved? And you can't spread the gospel if everybody you hang around is the church folks you see every Sunday morning. Now, I'm not asking anybody to go out to the bars ministering or anything else like that, or go out to the whorehouses, the crack spots, or anything else like that. But what I am saying is leave your hearts and your minds open to receive instruction, to go to unconventional places, to be around unconventional people, people who are not exactly in your circle, places that are not exactly in your circle or in your comfort zone, because you never know when God might use you to minister to somebody. You never know when God might decide that he wants to show up, and he might use you as the conduit to show up. We are ambassadors of Christ. We are his representation. And with this generation that we face right now, a lot of people don't want to go to church. A lot of people don't want to go assemble together. So we believers may be the only Jesus that these people come in contact with. We may be the only examples of true believers that they might see. And it would be a shame to cause someone to miss out on their opportunity to receive salvation because we're too scared to go someplace that doesn't seem like where Christians go. Or we're too pious with our noses in the air to talk to people who don't seem like who Christians talk to. There's a passage in the Bible where Jesus sits down with publicans and sinners. And the Pharisees asked the disciples, why does your master sit with publicans and sinners? And Jesus, perceiving what they were saying and what they were thinking, he said that people who are well don't need a physician, but the sick do. But go and learn what this means. I will have sacrifice. It's not for the saints, but the sinners that I come. Understand, believers, it's not for your brothers and sisters in Christ that are already in the church that you come. It's not those people that you need to talk to. It's not other church folk that you need to necessarily talk to, but it's those who haven't had an opportunity to accept Jesus Christ for himself. It's those who are on the fence, who don't know what to believe or how to believe or which way to turn, that you need to minister and talk to. I thank God for the experience last night, because it let me know one very important thing that I'm going to let you know as well. Jesus is still in the business of going to where the sinners go. He's still in the business of talking to those who other people with pious attitudes would reject. And if we are to be believers, followers of Christ, ambassadors, disciples, then that's the example that we should follow as well. So I encourage you, be mindful of where the Lord may send you, and don't despise unconventional places or unconventional people, but listen for sound instruction from the Lord and follow it. You never know where your next spontaneous place will be an opportunity for somebody to receive Christ and join the body of believers. God bless you. You take care. And let's continue to help the Lord call his remnant.